You've been throwing vibes now.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Phipps and I'm the owner of Brown Sugar Skincare, and today in this video I'm going to be helping you determine the first 10 steps of what I think is special and important for you to help you start your skincare line. I want to preface this video by saying I am not a professional. I didn't go to school for this. I'm self-taught. I've just done a lot of research over the past 5 years. So take this with a grain of salt. These are just the first 10 steps that I think I would want someone to do if I was helping them start a skincare line. Step number 1 is finding out what you want to sell. What problem do you want to solve? It can be dry skin. You could want a line that's very colorful with bright neons and stuff like that. You want to start a vegan line like what I did, or a like a bee line. I've seen people start skincare brands that use products that have like honey in every single product, so it's like a bee line. I don't know if I mentioned this, but lip gloss, if you want to cure dry lips with a special lip gloss. It's kind of hard to start a skincare line with a large umbrella of products. Kind of like what I did. I started off with too many different products that fix too many different problems. If I had niched down in the beginning and been like, okay, I'm gonna focus on dry skin, then I can branch off like next year, then I'm gonna do scrubs or like this and that. I think it is important to find one problem that you want to solve first. Step number 2 is defining your brand. This does kind of go with step number 1, but it's just now defining the problem and how you're going to solve this problem. What is your brand's purpose? So I'm going to use my line as an example. My line was accidentally started, I guess, because my brother has really bad eczema, and I've said this a few times now, but he also has severe allergies to what feels like everything. All nuts, cats, dogs, all fish, freshly cut grass. Like, he's allergic to a lot of things. So I wanted to find ingredients that I could use on his skin that won't trigger flare-ups. And that is what my brand started with. I did end up branching into a whole bunch of different things, but that's the first thing that I started with. It was my lavender and tea tree body butter that's catered towards eczema or extremely dry skin. My fiance, who has psoriasis, he's used it before on his psoriasis to calm flare-ups. Like, that is what my brand is pretty much about. Step number 3 is developing your product line. So I personally recommend starting with 3 to 6 products. You don't want to overwhelm and have like 20 different scents of a body butter and 20 different scents of a body oil. It's just overwhelming for someone who's just starting out. What I did when I was starting out was I made all of my products, they were made to order. So I never had products on shelves. I never had inventory. So if somebody was like, hey, I want your lavender or tea tree body butter, I would make just one. And I know it seems like a lot, but when you're just starting out and you don't have the expenses to keep a whole bunch of products in inventory and stock, this is what just worked for me and what I recommend. Even if you want to start with just making 5, like, I think that would be great as well, so you don't have an abundance of inventory that's going to go bad. I also did like doing the made to order products because all of my customers at the time were getting fresh products. Like, nothing was sitting on the shelf, and that was something that I was really proud of. I obviously now I have to branch off and do a little bit more of a bigger inventory for certain products, but starting off with 3 to 6 products is perfect. You can cater to a few different people with those 3 products, or you can make just one line. Just start off with one line dedicated to dry skin. So you can have like an oil for dry skin, a lotion for dry skin, a body butter for dry skin, something else. So you don't need to start off with a whole bunch of things, because then you'll start building followers, and then people are going to be like, hey, can you make a product for dark spots? And then you can branch off and do that. Like, you don't need to start with a lot. Another good example that I think I want to put out there is, I don't think she started with this product, but her main product that I've seen make her business blow up is, I believe her name is Boss Up Cosmetics. She has that color changing lip gloss. I'm pretty sure if it's still there in her bio, it's like home of the color changing lip gloss. I could be wrong. It's out there that she started that's her staple, and she has a bunch of different lip glosses and a bunch of different products, but that's the one that she's known for. And again, going back to my line, like my line, I'm very proud of the fact that it's completely vegan friendly. I do have 100% natural options as well, but my brand being vegan friendly is my main thing. Step number 4 when starting your business would be testing your products. And I know a lot of the time, if you're just making like an oil, it's very easy to be like, oh, I made this product yesterday, I'm gonna start selling it now. If you're making a product like a facial oil, you can sell that right away, but I always recommend just testing it on a few different skin types. So like if you have a mom and yourself, and then you have like a younger cousin or a young friend, whatever it may be, I recommend just giving one product to a few different people of a few different skin types, because some people might be sensitive to your products, and you can avoid a lot of issues down the line if you test your products. And I know that's like, obviously I would test my products, but there's, even for myself, there's been times where I've made a scrub. Here's an example of a product. I made a scrub that I was really proud of. It had like oils, butters, sugar, all the good stuff. It was scented, and I posted it and I started selling it. And then people were messaging me back saying, hey, all my oil is like at the top and it's just sugar at the bottom. And obviously it's not the end of the world. All you have to do is just shake it up to get it back together. But had I let the product sit for like a few weeks, I would have been able to be like, hey guys, if you buy this product, it will separate, but that's okay. Here's how you fix it, kind of thing. Instead of selling a product and people are like, why is it doing this? Like, has it gone bad? So yeah, test your products. Again, skin sensitivity is a huge thing. So if you're making like a body butter and it has fragrance oil, you want to make sure that you're not using it at too high of a percentage rate, and you want to test it on a few different skin types. Step number 5 when it comes to starting a business would be to register your business. So assuming you've come up with a name, it is important to, what I like to do is I like to search, what I liked to do was I searched up the name that I wanted and on everything possible that I could find, like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everything. Just make sure that nobody has the name, and then you're gonna go to your website. I am in Canada, so I had to go to my Canadian government website, register the business. I registered as a sole proprietor because I'm still just one person. There are a whole different categories, I guess. So if you're from the States, I don't exactly know how that would work, but it is very important, and I really do recommend registering your business to avoid any headache in the long run. I know it sounds scary registering your business, but if you're in Canada, it costs like $60 to get your master business license for your business. And it doesn't mean that you're going to immediately be paying taxes. You have to also register for that. But again, in Canada, you have to hit a certain threshold before you need to register for claiming taxes. Pretty simple. But again, if you're from the States, make sure you're looking up where you live, what the rules are to starting up a business, and specifically a handmade skincare business. I don't know if it's like in the States, but in Canada, they have like a certain section for handmade skincare, and there's a bunch of rules that you'll need to follow. It sounds scary, but it's very easy, but it is very important to make sure that you register your business. God forbid somebody else comes up with the name before you registers it, it blows up, but you had this name and now you have to change your business name, and yeah, you guys get it. Step number 6 ties in with step number 5, which is ensuring rules and legislations. Make sure you're selling products that you are allowed to sell. For example, I'm not allowed to sell SPF products. I am only allowed to sell like natural products that contain natural ingredients. I can register and get trained and get certified to sell all those things. I just don't want to right now. So it is important to follow the rules, because you do not want to get in trouble. You don't want a lawsuit, and you want to have fun. This is a small business. It's not supposed to be stressful. An example would be, I am not allowed to run a business out of the place that I sleep. So if let's say like in this bedroom right here, I had a shelf right behind me full of products. Even though I have a sink where I can clean and wash everything, you're not allowed to run a business out of the place that you sleep. So it does have to be in a separate room. I believe it also can't be, I don't know if this is just for like baking and stuff, but you have to have like separate sinks of like washing hands and cleaning and stuff like that. So yeah, there's just a lot of little fine lines that I want to make sure that you guys are following, because I don't want you getting in trouble when you're just trying to make some extra money. Next thing you know, you owe the government like 10 grand. All right, now that the scary stuff is out of the way, step number 7 is creating your packaging and labeling /website. And I say /website because you want your website to resemble your products, in my opinion. If you guys are familiar with my line, my products have a white background, very fine, thin font. I'm more on like the minimal, clean look of things, and I wanted to make sure that my website also resembles that. So my website is pretty white, bright, clean and minimal. But again, this is your brand, so what do you want? Do you want it to be bright and neon, or do you want it to be kid friendly, like so you can have like cartoons or something? There's so many different ways you can start this business. You can have it be like those bad bitch, you know, like these products are for bad bitches only. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Once you've come up with your product labels, then you can get into the website building, which the only two that I'm really aware of, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of website builders, but there's Shopify and Wix. I have used both actually. I started my business with Wix, and then I got the opportunity to work with Shopify a few years ago, and now I'm with Shopify, and I absolutely love Shopify. Sounds like an ad, but I promise it's not. I'm not getting paid from them anymore. But yeah, so Shopify has a bunch of templates that you can follow, and there's a whole bunch of people on YouTube that actually do really good tutorials. I'll do my best to put them in the caption. Starting a website is not as scary as it sounds as well. Step number 8. These steps aren't really in order, I guess, but this step is determine how you're gonna make your products. And when I say how, I mean your formulations. You can come up with ideas like, oh, I wanna make a face oil for fine lines and wrinkles, but how are you gonna make it? Like, what percentage of each ingredient are you gonna use? And I want you guys to, if you haven't started this business, even if you have and you're still new trying to figure out like how to grow, switch over to using percentages, because I'm going back again, I'm in Canada. I have to submit my formulations to the government. It is very important to know at what percentage you're using each ingredient. Also because there are a lot of ingredients that can only be used at a certain usage rate. So for example, a preservative that off the top of my head, a preservative that I use is Liquid Dermal Plus. The usage rate of that ingredient is 0.1% to 0.5%. And so in my formula, I know that, again, because it's a preservative, I like to use my preservatives at the max usage rate. So I know I'm using that at 0.5%. And again, there's a lot of ingredients too that can be used at 100%. So like sunflower oil, if you want to make a body oil, that was just sunflower oil, you can use that purely. But then there's essential oils that can't be used at 100%. Otherwise, it can either burn the skin, it can cause like chemical burns. There's a lot of adverse reactions that can happen if you're using an ingredient at too high of a usage rate. You just want to make sure that you're using it within the usage rate. Some ingredients aren't effective unless it's used at 2%, for example. And you're probably wondering, how do I find out how much to use of an ingredient? A Google search. All I do is type in, what is the usage rate of lavender essential oil? I'm actually gonna look it up right now. The usage rate of lavender essential oil is 1 to 3%. I just looked it up. It's really that simple. So you wanna make sure that you never ever go above the usage rate of an ingredient. This is kind of like a plug. I do actually sell the calculator that I use. It is a blank calculator. All you do is input the ingredient and your usage rate, but it's based off of your knowledge. The usage rate of each ingredient, and it will convert it to whatever grams. So it's kind of hard to explain. Hopefully I'm putting a picture of it somewhere over here. So you put in your ingredient name, the usage rate you want to put it at, and then at the top there's a little box that says batch size. So if you want to make like 1,000 gram batch size, it will convert the percentage into the amount of grams that you will need. I hope that makes sense. So if you were interested in that and you don't want to do a whole bunch of math and stuff, then I do sell that on my website. It's a blank calculator, so if you're like, why doesn't it have any information on it? That's why. It's to help makers who already know how to use usage rates and grams and all that stuff. It's amazing for maintaining consistency of your products, so that whether you need to make 10 of a product or 10,000 of a product, this calculator will just quickly do the math for you. If you don't want to purchase my calculator, there are creators like Tara Lee, Humblebee, who offers already made formulas, so you guys don't need to worry about finding out the grams and percentages and all that stuff. Like, they have done all the hard work for you, and you can just copy their recipes or even tweak the recipes just a little bit. Go on your way with making your product. Step number 9 that I put is attending local markets. I know it sounds scary and you're probably like, but I don't even have an Instagram following. For me personally, I found this was one of the best ways for me to grow my following in the beginning. So people were then coming to these markets, they were seeing my face, I was talking to them, I was explaining my products, and then they'd be like, oh, like, what's your Instagram? And although at the time when I did my first market, I think I had like 300 or 400 followers on Instagram. And a lot of them ended up becoming repeat customers because although 90% of them didn't buy at the market, they were following me, so they saw my posts, they saw my growth, and they saw the stuff that I was selling online, and they ended up purchasing from me. My leg is asleep. So yeah, I know it sounds scary attending a market, but I really do think it's amazing exposure for someone that is just beginning. And a little tip that I want to give you guys is what I like to do is I like to give out discount codes specifically for people at that market. So even if you make it onto like a little business card or just tell them. So for example, but you're at the Christmas market and there's a bunch of people walking by, they're talking to you, chatting, but they're not purchasing. You can say, hey, here's this coupon code. It's for 20% off if you decide to purchase with me later on. And the code is Christmas market. And I like to do that specifically because then I can track and see how many people from the Christmas market use their coupon code so that I know where they came from, if that makes sense. Step number 10, which ties into obviously everything else, but mainly step number 9 is building your online presence. Now, there's a lot of people that will say post 3 times a day, 5 stories a day, and 3 posts a day. Like, I'm sure there's a method to it. I don't know what it is. I just post when I want to post, which turns out to be pretty much every day. But that's because I have built up enough content to post every day. And before you start, I really think it's important to record everything that you're doing. Even if you have 3 followers, record everything that you're doing. I go back now and I look at the stuff that I was doing 5 years ago and I'm like, wow, the growth is actually insane. So for you, if you're like, oh my God, I can't even imagine 5 years down the line, I promise it's gonna come faster than you think. So recording everything is not only great for your following now, but in like 5 years when you're like, oh wow, I had this product back then that I used to make that I am very glad that I've had the growth that I've had. But yeah, I think it's really important to be a little delusional. Post as if you already have 30,000 followers, you're verified on Instagram, you've made all these deals, and yeah, it's kind of like a speaking it into existence type of vibe. And if you're not going to do that, your business isn't going to grow. It's pretty plain and simple. You need to post consistently. You need to post whatever it is that you want to post, whether you want to post the behind the scenes. You can post some pack and order with me. Even if you don't have any orders, do like a mock-up order, although nobody's gonna know that it's a mock-up order. So you could just pretend that you're packing up an order so that your customers know what they're gonna be getting and what it's gonna look like. It's building trust between your followers and yourself to create a good relationship that will eventually convert into a sale. Like if you went to one Instagram that had 100 followers, but it had all their behind the scenes, how they clean their stuff, how they make their products, how they package orders, doing unboxing of inventory. But then you saw another brand that had like 30,000 followers and had just pictures of the products that they're selling, no reviews, no comments, no nothing. Like, I feel like nowadays it's a big trust thing when it comes to buying because there's so many scammers out there that just want the money. So you want to make sure that you're building that trust with your followers, which is why I like to post my formulas, my behind the scenes, my cleaning. Even when things fail, I just like to post everything because I've had a lot of people comment or message me saying that they're grateful that I post the behind the scenes. They feel like they're talking to me. They feel like they're just right there in the office with me, which I really like because I just want my brand to feel more like a family than anything else. Like, it's not like, I don't really like calling people my customers. I try to develop relatively good relationships with them. Like, I know when I see a name pop up a few times, I'm like, oh my God, they ordered again. Or even like when they order and then I see them comment on my post, I don't know, I put the connections together all the time, and I literally love all of my customers so much. So building that relationship is really important. And those are the first 10 things that I would recommend you start doing now if you want to start your skincare line, or if you've been thinking about it, if you've already started it and you don't really know what to do now. Those are just the first 10 steps that I think are really important. I will be filming another video talking about the equipment you will need to start a skincare line. And this goes down to ingredients, mixing equipment, storage, like all that good stuff. I have a video. I have it planned that I want to film that video. So if you've made it to the end of this video, I really hope you found this video useful, and I really hope you do consider starting a skincare line. Even though it may seem like such a saturated business already, there is so much room for everybody to make money that It's not even funny, which is why I share what I share while I'm running a business. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, why do you share your formulas? Or why do you give this away? You're going to lose so much money. You're going to lose customers. I'm like, if I'm losing customers and somebody else is making customers, to me, it's a win. I really don't care. I love sharing what I have, because when I was looking for things, when I was starting up my business 5-6 years ago, it was nearly impossible to find information. Everyone's very secretive, which rightfully so, like, do your thing. But it was hard to find out some information. So if I can make anyone's life a little bit easier, that's the equivalent of someone placing an order with me. I kind of went off on a little tangent, but I will be posting more formulation videos coming soon. If you are interested in watching formulations right now, because I'm slow as heck making these videos, go follow Tara Lee, go watch Humblebee. I'm going to tag some creators that I love down below, so that you guys can keep going, keep learning, keep formulating, keep practicing, and all that stuff while I kind of gather my life. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, my business and personal Instagram, a little shameless self-promo because I'm trying to grow my personal account now. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found at least one helpful tip, and I will see you guys in the next video.